Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Man in Marvel. Just became a god. Have you heard about it? Blue Star has produced a terrifying civilization. What's going on? Isn't that a cosmic desert? What terrifying civilization is there? Don't joke about it. No, don't believe it. Every team there has someone who can become incredibly huge, like the legendary titans, assassins, and wizards. And there are many, many teams like that. There are also those who wear mechs and hold shields. I heard that half of the territory of Kree has already been captured. Most importantly, they seem like crazy people who are not afraid of death. Isn't it? Why not? I heard they are looking for a titan named Mie Ba all over the universe, and I don't know what kind of grudge it is. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Thank you, Big Brother Zhou 749892559, for your 1000 VIP tipping support. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Thank you, Zhou***, for your 1000 VIP tipping support. Thank you very much. Thank you, Zhou***, for your 1000 VIP tipping support. Thank you very much. Thank you, Zhou***, for your 1000 VIP tipping support. Thank you very much. Feilu's novel, Fei wants you to look good. Thank you for the 200 VIP reward support from the Purgatory Thief. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Thank you for the 200 VIP reward support from the Purgatory Thief. Thank you very much, thank you. Thank you for the 200 VIP reward support from the Purgatory Thief. Thank you very much, thank you. Thank you for the 200 VIP reward support from the Purgatory Thief. Thank you very much, thank you. Feilu's novel, Fei wants you to look good. Thank you, my hero, for your support of 100 VIP points. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Thank you for your support of 100 VIP points, my hero. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 1. Mysterious Maple Leaf Town. New book upload, kneeling down for various support. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Maple Leaf Town is a small town that was renamed after the end of World War II, and the origin of its name is unknown. I just saw such a name from the file. This small town is no different from other towns in the United States. If there must be something different, it is a maple tree near the town that requires several adults to embrace. The tree rings are densely packed, indicating that there is already a forest that has been around for a long time. The people in the town are in a hurry, but today, the town has welcomed a special guest. A woman who is about 1.7 meters tall, with a slender waist and long legs is slowly approaching the small town. Official settings information, please don't hesitate, please ask. A woman has fiery red hair, red lips and white teeth, and her fiery red lips are particularly eye-catching. The woman's name is Natasha Romanlov, a former Soviet Red Army agent who is currently a Level 7 agent of the Divine Shield Agency. She is investigating the mysterious incident in Maple Leaf Town. If it's a small matter, naturally there's no need for Level 7 agents like Natasha to investigate. However, Maple Leaf Town has produced 5 top scientists and a large number of outstanding students from key universities in recent years, which is too abnormal. Such a special place naturally caught the attention of the Divine Shield Agency, which claims to be monitoring global abnormal events. In particular, their director of Soy Egg paid special attention. As we enter the 21st century, what is the most important thing? It is naturally a talent, and we often go everywhere to find cutting-edge talents. Even the Divine Shield Bureau, which has planned the scientists who used to be Hydra, knows this well. Director Soy Egg, who has received the true biography of Director Pierce, is particularly concerned about talents. From him bringing all the former Red House agents to the Divine Shield Bureau, one can imagine his admiration for talent. And Lizzie, like Natasha, is not an exception in the Divine Shield Bureau. Therefore, the talent production rate of an unknown town naturally attracted the attention of director Nick Fry of Soy Egg. He not only sent his most elite agents, but also kept in touch and was ready to deal with any situation at any time. "Director, I'm ready to go in." Originally a simple task, Natasha, who had executed countless tasks due to Nick Fry's emphasis, felt a bit nervous. Natasha, who laughed self-deprecatingly and felt a little surprised, whispered into the microphone. "Well, okay, we'll keep an eye on you at all times. Please be careful and report any abnormalities immediately. We're always ready to pick you up." Nick Fry's heavy voice rang out in the microphone. As a small town in Milijian, Maple Leaf Town suddenly has such a large number of talents, which is obviously a good thing for Milijian. However, for someone with a strong desire for control like Nick Fury, he clearly doesn't think so. A sudden occurrence of such a thing in a small town means that it is very likely that the town will undergo some kind of change due to the appearance of genius, which may be benign or dark. As the director of the Divine Shield Bureau, he has seen too many darkness and madness, and has dealt with them a lot. And is the sudden change in this small town due to some mysterious object? Whether that item was used by ignorant people at will, and whether it had any harm, even if it was something without any harm, in Nick Fry's view. It's not something that ordinary people should control. That kind of thing should be handed over to their Divine Shield Bureau for control. If it proves to be intentional without any harm, then it should be even more under the control of their Divine Shield Bureau. After all, in Nick Fury's view, the Divine Shield Bureau is the organization that ensures the normal operation of the world and is not threatened by aliens, and that kind of good thing is the most correct thing to hand over to their Divine Shield Bureau for use. As for what it means to say that the sacred property of the American people is inviolable, according to American law, it should belong to the discoverer, which is even more a joke in Nick Fry's view. It can be seen from the fact that the best talker, Coulson, forcefully expropriated everything in Jen Foster's laboratory when the Hammer God arrived that the Divine Shield Bureau was acting arrogantly. And if, as he had imagined, there were so many talents here because of a magical item in Maple Leaf Town, which was of great importance to the people of such a small town, and Nick Fry wanted to take it away, then it was impossible for both sides not to conflict, and that's why he had his words about Natasha. At this moment, not far from Maple Leaf Town, there are already 3 fully armed teams from the Divine Shield Bureau, ready to take action at any time. "Hi, beautiful woman." Natasha had just entered the town, and not long after, she was caught by a somewhat frivolous voice that caught all her attention. Looking for the sound, it was a boy of 14 or 15 years old, skateboarding under his feet and exercising, but he still had a book in his hand, as if he had just been reading it seriously. Looking at such a boy, Natasha was unable to roast. Playing skateboarding can be very dangerous. If you're still studying at this time, you're not afraid of getting hit and killed somewhere. You don't have to pretend like this, right? Whose bare child is this? Is there any parental control over it? Natasha was about to say something when she saw the child withdraw her attention. Turning his gaze back to the book, he looked very serious, as if he had really read through the contents, and his feet didn't stop. He controlled his skateboard quite steadily, spinning around there. Natasha also knows how to skateboard, but even if he wants to do that, he must be fully focused. One mind, 2 uses, one mind, 3 uses. Watching the boy who occasionally looked up to tease her and blew himself a kiss, Natasha felt that the common sense she had developed over the years had been severely impacted. She began to understand why Nick Fry attached so much importance to the anomalies in this small town. If it's a special train, it's okay, but if it's all like this, so this small town definitely hides some secrets. Will there be such a coincidence that she came in and encountered a special one? The possibility is really too low, so the outcome is clearly a matter of opinion. Feilu's novel, Fei Wants You to Look Good. Chapter 2. The Strange Town. New book upload, kneeling down for various support. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hey, Wiki, be polite to girls. Natasha was about to use her expertise to deal with the young man in front of her, when she was getting some intelligence when the girl's voice suddenly came from behind her. Looking back, there was a group of children slowly approaching behind her. Everyone held various books in their hands, including philosophy, modern science, chemistry, novels, and even a few. When the girl spoke, she didn't look up and looked very serious. Just because of this situation, Natasha increasingly feels that there is a problem with this town, okay? The most famous one in the United States is happy education. Although it deceives fools from other countries, even children who truly engage in business education would not have such a diligent learning atmosphere at their age. At this age, children are at a time when people detest dogs. It's the most mischievous time, and it's also the true time for happy education in Eagle Sauce country. No one would study well at the age of their own children, let alone at the age when they are in their first period of rebellion in life. As an elite agent, Natasha knows a lot, and for children, she has also studied it specifically. She even had some doubts that she had traveled, not in Mie, but in that magical country on the other side of the ocean. Okay, it's my fault, beautiful woman. See you next time there's a chance. The young man smiled nonchalantly, apologizing, but obviously didn't care, not even lifting his head when speaking. Just when talking to Natasha, I made a gesture of blowing a kiss at him. Immediately playing on skateboards, walking at the front, following the group of children around slowly. But Natasha stood still, her eyebrows furrowed even deeper. She increasingly felt that the town was strange and that the child would tease her, which was normal. After all, Natasha was still very confident in her beauty, but the boy only had 5 seconds to look at him in total. This is very abnormal. Even adults with strong control may not be so good when they see their own beauty. What made Natasha feel even more wrong was that even when she left, the young man controlled his skateboard to turn or something, and his eyes never left the book from beginning to end. There was also flipping pages in the middle, but the speed was not impressive at the time, but now thinking about it, it was like flipping pages randomly. Even a young man is fine, Natasha can still understand. The young man wants to pretend to be coerced in front of his beautiful woman, but all the children are like this. What kind of ghost? Reading quantum mechanics. Human eye scanning. Who is that beautiful big sister on Wikipedia? I don't know, I also saw it before. It should be someone from outside. Are people from outside joining Maple Leaf Town? How did I know? The voice gradually faded away, leaving Natasha alone in place, wanting to scratch her head. My body also couldn't help but tighten. This town is abnormal, very abnormal, very abnormal. Natasha noticed that they were very proud of their town and didn't feel anything was wrong with their actions. And this is exactly what makes Natasha feel creepy. Natasha is very confident that her values and cognition are without any problems, and she has seen and seen more than many people. However, in this town, she seems to be an outsider. This town is very, very strange. Natasha can now confirm. Natasha, what did you just say to them again? Why can't I understand the language? Natasha was wondering whether to continue walking forward. The sound of Nick Fury inside the earphones rang out. Ha! What? Natasha was a bit confused. She was just speaking English. What was Nick Fury saying? According to the confirmation from the intelligence department, you used Chinese throughout the conversation just now. Natasha, in your profile, although you have been to that country in the East, you did not say that your Chinese is so good. Can you explain it to me? Nick Fury's voice can make people unable to hear any emotions, but it gives people a great sense of pressure and oppression. However, what Nick Fury didn't know was. Her words fell, and Natasha's spine suddenly became cold. She had an impulse to turn around and run away, forever leaving the town and never coming back again. People are always filled with fear of the unknown, and the various mysteries in this town make Natasha, who is accustomed to life and death and even has the courage to venture into the battlefield, want to escape. Even though the battlefield may be dangerous, Natasha has the confidence to escape because of her understanding and confidence in her skills. But the eerie nature of this town makes people instinctively want to escape. In the eyes of Natasha and all the agents of the Divine Shield Bureau, Chinese is considered the most difficult language in the world. There is no such thing as it. The entire Divine Shield Bureau has hundreds of thousands of people, and there are very few who can master Chinese. And this town can make people unconsciously master this knowledge. So, is there any other ancient monster? This invisible and intangible existence made Natasha's spine shiver, only feeling shivering. Director, are you serious? I was just having a conversation with someone in Chinese. Natasha took a deep breath and forced herself to calm down, without any time to argue with fury about this guy's suspicion of her. She asked seriously. Yes, after 3 parties' confirmation, what do you mean is that you didn't even realize you were talking to someone in Chinese just now? Nick Fry also reacted and furrowed his brows tightly, realizing the seriousness of the problem. What is a strange place where a person who doesn't understand a certain language naturally understands that language and can still converse with others when they enter it? At this moment, Nick Fry felt the same way as Natasha did before, feeling the chill of Mao. Natasha remained silent. She was now caught in a dilemma, with a mysterious exploration of the town in her heart, but also a fear of the unknown. Natasha, I allow you to give up this mission. Nick Fury's voice rang out again. No, I want to go inside and take a good look. Okay, pay attention to safety. You can evacuate at any time. Feilu's novel, Fei wants you to look good. Chapter 3. Natasha, who doubts life. New book upload, kneeling down for various support. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay, I understand. After adjusting her breathing and accelerating her beating heart, Natasha slowly calmed down and continued walking forward. She looked around at the originally strange and mysterious Chinese characters that were now clearly recognizable, as the children passed by one, and listened to the Chinese poetry they were reciting. Natasha's heart was a bit confused. Natasha is well aware that for learning any foreign language, the difficulty of poetry is generally in the advanced level of the language. She can now understand and comprehend its meaning, which indicates that the language suddenly emerging in her mind has reached the level of proficiency. It is basically impossible to have a proficiency level without long-term flexible use, living in that environment and being surrounded by long periods of speaking and honing. And how long did she go from being unfamiliar with a language to becoming familiar and proficient? She doesn't even know when she will do it. Maple Leaf Town, it's a bit interesting. Turning her head to look at the Chinese name on the small plaque at the entrance in the direction he was coming from, Natasha murmured softly and continued walking forward. She now has less fear of this town and more curiosity, curious about what kind of existence there is in a place that can make her a person who can only say a few greetings. She has just mastered Chinese in an instant. With such a broad and profound character, she is even more curious about what else is in such a mysterious place. Hello, beautiful woman, welcome to our small town. Continuing forward, a yellow man's uncle saw her not far away and greeted her warmly with a smile. Hello, sir. Natasha gave a gentle smile. This is her ultimate weapon, designed specifically for strangers. The uncle in front of her seems to be from this town, and Natasha thinks she can get to know this town better from him. Beautiful girl, I am Li Niangua, the mayor of this town. I don't know how to call you. The uncle smiled warmly and introduced himself with a smile. Natalie. Miss Natalie, my office is lacking a hardworking and beautiful secretary. Will you come or not? Uncle, that's called a simple and straightforward. No, I have a job, thank you. Upon hearing this invitation, Natasha's face involuntarily twitched. Due to her beauty, she was often approached by various means. But with such a simple and straightforward invitation, it was really her first time meeting. After labeling this uncle as an old pervert in her heart, Natasha decided to stay far away from him. Even if she needed intelligence, she would never find away from him, never. The benefits are extremely high and the benefits are excellent. Are you sure you don't want to give it a try? In fact, Natasha completely misunderstood Li Niangua. Li Ligua was a person with a family, and the mother-in-law in the family was fierce. He didn't have so many messy thoughts, so he could only say that the first image of a person is very important. His first image of Natasha is not very good, and it is inevitable that he will be misunderstood as a bad person. Li Niangua felt a bit disappointed when he heard these words. His father not only said for the first time that his appearance had caused embarrassment to Maple Leaf Town, but as the mayor, he was also very desperate. So when he saw a beautiful foreign girl, he thought of making her become the mayor's secretary. If this appearance had gone, his father would not have said that he had caused embarrassment to Maple Leaf Town. Well, forget it, no need, thank you. Natasha said with a serious expression. Even the polite smile on her face couldn't be sustained, so she didn't want to leave any thoughts on the old man in front of her, absolutely not. Poor Natasha didn't know that her decision almost caused her to regret not jumping off the building. Okay, although you rejected me, I still welcome you on behalf of Maple Leaf Town. I hope you have a good time playing in Maple Leaf Town. Seeing the girl's resolute attitude, Li Niangua had no choice but to give up and leave with these words. Natasha breathed a sigh of relief when she saw the uncle leave, and silently put back the dagger that was about to escape. Continuing to stroll around Maple Leaf Town in a casual manner, she felt even more at ease now. The mayor's words indicate that there are also outsiders here, and it doesn't mean that once you come in, you can't leave. Otherwise, there's no need for that person to have such a good attitude. Politely, Natasha knows clearly what kind of evil people are and how evil they can be. And that mayor, although he looks a bit ugly and thinks pretty, looks like a warm and hospitable good person. With a relaxed mood, Natasha's footsteps also became a bit more lively. However, this lightness did not last long. Moving forward, Natasha saw many images that made her doubt her cognition. A 7 or 8-year-old white girl is helping her parents clean her lawn. Even though she is sweating profusely and her face is turning red, there is no intention of giving up. She is cleaning very clean bit by bit, and her parents are watching from the side, occasionally handing her water and wiping her sweat, but there is no intention of coming forward to help. And she has seen several examples like this. Is this still the child of the free Milijian in her perception? Aren't children at this age all thinking about how to demolish their own homes? What kind of ghost are these so well behaved, sensible, and serious one by one? Are the miracles here only aimed at children? With such thoughts in mind, Natasha continued to move forward. Quickly, I saw 3 or 4 children around 10 years old busy with a bucket at a sewer outlet. Natasha's eyes lit up when she saw this. Is it throwing artillery into the sewer? Or what? Have you finally seen a normal child? With such anticipation, Natasha took 2 quick steps and approached. Although such thoughts may seem dark, please forgive Natasha. Since entering this town, her overall values have deteriorated. Originally, Natasha would never have doubted herself so easily with her resilience, but the children of this town really made her a bit confused. She urgently needed a few columns and told her that it was just an isolated case, not the norm. However, when she walked in and saw clearly what these children were doing, Natasha was disappointed. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 4. Polite Children. New book upload, kneeling down for various support. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A few children around 10 years old are not causing destruction and seeking stimulation as Natasha thought. On the contrary, he is very serious about repairing the slightly damaged sewer outlet. And inside the bucket next to her was already mixed cement, and a few children were quickly repairing the drain using skilled techniques that made her lose her eyes. Their attitude was very serious and focused. Even if Natasha intentionally made some noise and approached, they did not notice that these children seemed to have OCD-like perfection. Natasha seriously doubted whether even the most developed and skilled city workers in New York could be as serious and meticulous as a few children. Their pursuit of details was simply perfect. Just like the blonde boy leveling up, he would lie on the ground and find some obvious scratches from multiple perspectives, then level them one by one, with gentle movements and outstanding effects, like a precise surgeon. "Brothers, someone is here, be polite." At this moment, Natasha was already very close, and with the wind blowing away the fragrance from her body, the children finally noticed him. The Asian boy among them quickly greeted his brother. Then Natasha saw the standard etiquette, like the best royal aristocrats with the best upbringing. "Hello, beautiful lady," 3 boys around 10 years old, wiping their bodies clean, then standing straight, watching her greet her in unison with a smile that would warm them for a long time. "Hey, hello." Looking at the 3 different skin colors in front of him, he is a boy who is particularly harmonious and harmonious. Natasha even feels a bit impolite if she doesn't respond well. She forced a smile and greeted with a smile. 3 boys, 2 of whom are in Chinese, and 1 is in English, and she instinctively answered in Chinese. Strangely, if she doesn't pay attention, she doesn't even realize that she instinctively answers in Chinese, as if Chinese is her mother tongue. If you don't pay attention to this, you won't even realize it, which is what makes Natasha feel the most strange. What surprised Natasha even more was the politeness and understanding of the children here. She has seen the bear child before, but none of the children here are bear children. "I guess the most bear is the one I met at the door who called me a beautiful woman, but is that really a bear? Are you too sensitive?" Thinking to herself, Natasha felt that all the things she had experienced in her life were not as supernatural as they are today. Or rather, it's magical. Although they are all on Milijian's territory and belong to the towns under Milijian's jurisdiction, this small town, like a clear stream, is so impressive. "What are you doing?" After adjusting her mindset, Natasha made her smile look very approachable. She bent down slightly and crouched down, keeping her gaze at the same level as these children, curious and asking. She asked a bit knowingly, but the topic always needs a way to open up, doesn't she? She couldn't resist her curiosity anymore. "As you can see, beautiful little sister, we were repairing the drain when we found that it was blocked and some of the cement on it had peeled off, which was a bit dangerous. It was difficult for me to do this job alone, so I brought my brothers to do it together." The child with Asian appearance answered politely. "Beautiful lady, may I ask if you have a girlfriend?" However, compared to what seemed like a little gentleman's answer, the white boy next to him was more direct, his fiery gaze constantly scanning the direction of Natasha's chest. "Hey kid, you have more friends than you gentlemen." Even if it shows off her charm like this, having a little brat look at her like this still makes Natasha a bit embarrassed, she said with a hint of humor. "Your gaze should be on those girls your age, not big sisters like me. Besides, sister already has a boyfriend." Natasha's words seemed to be a sneer, showcasing her own charm to the fullest. And what Natasha didn't show was that she felt a little bit of pride. Even though the children here didn't seem like children, they still succumbed to the old lady's pomegranate skirt, right? "The old lady is so charming." Natasha's words fell, and the Asian-looking boy turned his head awkwardly, while the white man's smile remained on his face, as if he had not been affected by Natasha's words at all. "So beautiful lady, can you tell me your name?" The black boy next to him couldn't bear it anymore. Everyone had talked to this beautiful sister, but he hadn't said anything yet. The boy has an African appearance, but he uses Chinese, which is very standard. It did not bring any sense of discord to people. If Natasha hadn't experienced the colorful world outside, she would have thought it was normal. "Child, before asking for a lady's name, it's polite to give your name." Looking at the black boy in front of her, Natasha temporarily let go of the strong strange feeling in her heart and pretended to be serious in her education. My name is Stephen, beautiful lady. You are really beautiful. In the future, when looking for a girlfriend, I must find someone as beautiful as you. The black boy spoke his ambitions with childish language. This made Natasha laugh. Humph, I also want to find a beautiful one. Me too. The Asian and white boys next to him spoke along. Huh, okay, you all are great. I believe you will definitely find the perfect candidate in your mind. Children are always easy to let go of their guard and are highly infectious, especially for Natasha, a woman who will never have a child in her life. She is full of killing power. At this moment, she has let go of all her guard and can't help but think about how happy she would be if this were her own child. Beauty, you haven't introduced yourself yet. Okay, my name is Natalie. It's a bit urgent for you to force a girl to say her name like this. Natasha smiled and said. Feilu's novel, Fei wants you to look good. Chapter 5. 8 Language Abilities. New book upload, kneeling down for various support. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This name sounds like it's of Russian descent. The Asian boy blinked his eyes and asked Natasha in a confirmed tone. Yes. You can actually speak Russian directly to us. In this town, each of us can communicate directly in the 8 languages. Originally, it was just casual chatting, ready to wait until she became more familiar. She was searching for some intelligence, but what Natasha didn't expect was that she hadn't started yet. The group of 10-year-old children across from her gave her such amazing news. Joking, what is the concept of 8 languages? It can still be directly used for communication. Damn it, this kind of person outside is also a talent, one of the high-paying targets of big companies, or the existence of long-term job vacancies. The boy may seem easy to say, but Natasha, who has just experienced it, knows very well that according to the boy, this miracle is likely to be like her inexplicably mastering the world's most difficult language, Chinese. What concept is this? Many people studying linguistics together are not as effective as her entry into this town. Are the language departments of major colleges going to go bankrupt? If this matter were to spread, they wouldn't be able to continue. Milijian's university is notorious for its high fees. Who would have put in so much effort to learn something simple? What are you saying? With strong control, Natasha kept her expression calm, but she didn't notice that her voice was a bit dry. She pretended not to understand and asked. German, Italian, Chinese, English, Mexican, Japanese, Korean, Russian, these are the things we can use for communication here now. However, we still use Chinese more often in our daily lives because Chinese is the most refined language and idioms are extremely rich in daily language, which can clearly and accurately express the meaning we want to express. Asian boy, with a serious expression on his face, said. If it weren't for the height of her waist and her intelligent face, blindfolded, Natasha would even suspect that it was a linguistics professor talking to her, not a child around 10 years old. Do you think you will spend a lot of time learning a language now? The village names of the entire town come together. Natasha asked with the possibility that she felt a bit absurd. Please forgive Natasha's limited imagination. Apart from this somewhat absurd reason, Natasha can no longer think of any other reasons. In a town with such a large population, everyone has mastered so many languages, even temporarily. In her perception, except for the possibility that everyone in the town will work hard to learn together, she really can't think of any other possibilities. Even if her ideas are full of loopholes. Ha ha ha. Upon hearing Natasha's words, the 3 boys around 10 burst into laughter. This made Natasha feel quite embarrassed. She wished she could dig a hole and get in. As a senior agent, Natasha had never been laughed at like this before. However, when faced with these children, Natasha couldn't show any anger, and some were helpless. Sister Natasha, do you know Japanese before that? The boys didn't laugh for too long, so they saved some face for Natasha, this beautiful young lady. The Asian-looking boy smiled and asked. No way. Upon hearing this, Natasha quickly understood it in her mind. After all, she had already experienced it, and the Chinese language between them was like this. She had some expectations and some nervousness, and answered honestly. Look, don't you know how to do it now? The boy smiled and shrugged his shoulders. Natasha felt that in that moment, her mind went berserk and something exploded inside. She was somewhat frightened to find that the boy had already used Japanese when he asked her if she knew it, but she understood it without realizing it, understood its meaning, and gave an answer. What exactly is this place? Natasha suddenly felt a chill in her spine, and the fear once again surged in her heart, making her feel an indescribable fear. People's subconscious pursuit of benefits and avoidance of harm made her wish to escape this small town at the fastest speed possible now. This small town is really eerie, so eerie that this subtle and benign change makes her feel scared and want to escape. Sister Natasha, please don't be afraid. Many people enter Maple Leaf Town like you. This is a place of God's blessings. As long as a stranger enters our town, everyone in the town will master a new language, allowing everyone to communicate freely and without any problems. This is a good thing, isn't it? We just treat him as a gift from God, thinking too much is useless. There have been many people studying here before, but none of them have yielded any results. After you leave, everything will return to normal. Seeing Natasha's loss of composure, the Asian boy explained very thoughtfully. After leaving, it will disappear, this magical language. Upon hearing these words, Natasha inexplicably breathed a sigh of relief, but her sensitivity as a spy also quickly made her realize the problem. This small town is so magical, theoretically speaking, it should be well known to everyone. In such a place, as long as such news is spread, the first one to attract them is definitely their Divine Shield Bureau. However, they came because the number of talents appearing here is not in line with common sense. This is a bit ironic. The Divine Shield Bureau, which claims to be monitoring everything abnormal in the world, actually has such a town appearing under Milijian's nose in their headquarters that they don't even know. So does this town have some restrictions on people leaving? For example, making them unable to speak of the wonders of this small town. Natasha suddenly felt that this possibility was very high. However, thinking that she was communicating with Nick Fry in real time and didn't need to go out and report again, this task didn't mess up, but instead made Natasha breathe a sigh of relief. She seemed to intentionally say it to Nick Fry, in order to take care of his language ability. When asked, she specifically used English. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Add more rules. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The new book sets sail, starting with 10,000 words, kneeling down to seek various support. Let's talk about adding more rules. 1,000 flowers plus 1 chapter. 500 evaluation votes plus 1 more chapter. Single reward plus 1 chapter kneeling down for all kinds of support, flower reviews and so on, give it a free gift, please. A fierce man selling cute JPG. Feilu's novel, Fei wants you to look good. Chapter 6. Does Milijian still have a future? 100 tips and more. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yes, if you're not a resident of Maple Leaf Town, the ability to leave here would disappear, but Maple Leaf Town residents don't have this restriction. The boys smiled and said, with a proud expression on their faces, clearly showing a strong sense of belonging and pride towards their Maple Town. That is to say, when the residents of Maple Leaf Town go out, they are all people who have mastered 8 languages and also have the ability to write and listen. Natasha's voice is a bit erratic. If such a town spreads, how many people would have to rush to live in it? For many Milijian people, where they live and which town they belong to do not have much significance. However, if you live in a town, you can master 8 languages and even increase the number of people. Without a doubt, there will be countless people willing to spend money or even more things to become residents of this town. Yes, so how do you become a resident here? Upon receiving a positive answer, Natasha couldn't wait to ask. She asked for Nickfree's help, as well as for herself. Mastering 8 languages may not mean much to ordinary people, but for these agents, it's like a heavenly reward. Especially for their Divine Shield Bureau, agents have to travel to various parts of the world at any time, mastering a new language. For them, the attraction is obvious and it is also convenient for them to work. And her director of Soy Egg, now that she has heard, has definitely been thinking about this town. This may be a bit difficult because the current mayor only accepts the immediate relatives of the original residents to move to this town and become residents, and he does not allow anything else. The black boy thought for a moment and said, "Stephen, you're not right. The mayor's father will also accept people with special abilities, such as Uncle John Wicker, who used to play with guns very well. But this little sister is so young, she can't be someone who has mastered any particularly powerful skills." The 2 children started arguing as if there was no one around. Natasha's face twitched as she listened. "Damn it, little brat, who do you look down on? Can you believe my mother's ability scared me to death?" Natasha maintained a smile on her face and an angry woman in her heart was roaring. In Chinese, there is an idiom called "one cannot judge by appearance." Perhaps this little sister is a genius scientist. The Asian boy argued uncomfortable. The black boy moved his nose vaguely and smelled the perfume floating from Natasha. "Do you mean perfume scientist?" The black boy sniffed again to confirm. At this moment, Natasha felt extremely ashamed and wished to dig a hole in the ground, as a groundhog was howling wildly in her heart. This is why Natasha, as a spy, has a resilient heart. Otherwise, if someone else were to be talked about like this by these little bear kids, she would have nowhere to escape. That's also a scientist, the knowledge inside is so great. The Asian boy argued. "Can you tell me why you came to do this job? I'm curious, shouldn't this job be done by adults?" Natasha can't stand it anymore. As a perfume scientist of God Timo, she knows that the Asian boy is kind, but it's too shameful. Well, Natasha, a former Soviet Red House agent, is now a level 7 agent of Milijian's Divine Shield Bureau. She has plenty of skills, so don't be a scientist. The person who shot before was powerful enough to join. Will Natasha be inferior to that person? Don't joke, she disdains her and has a proud and charming face. Why, even though we can do this job ourselves, why should we let adults do it? Natasha's words caught the attention of the 3 boys, but Natasha's question clearly left them confused. "But none of you are over 14 years old, they are all minors, this is illegal." Natasha had a crazy feeling of playing the piano with a cow, and she felt that there was a significant difference in her values compared to these children in this village. This inexplicably reminded her of the very difficult mission she had once undertaken to that mysterious country. The people there, like these children, have vastly different values from those she has developed. What kind of law are you breaking? Hiring minors to work is illegal, don't you know? Although she was a bit crazy, Natasha patiently explained that she felt it was necessary to educate these 3 children about the law. All 3 children were very good and polite, and she still had a good impression. "Oh, you're talking about this. That's federal law and it doesn't affect Maple Leaf Town." The 3 boys smiled when they heard Natasha's words and waved their hands casually. Natasha, she had 10,000 WTF words in her heart, but when it came to her mouth, she held back because the boy was right and she was completely powerless to refute them. Milijian is a magical place, although it has federal laws, the laws in different states are different, and each place has the qualification to set its own laws. Even if a person escapes to another state, even if you are only 1 or 2 steps away from them, you cannot pursue them because no one is qualified to cross state arrest except for the FBI. If you go to catch it, then you are breaking the law. It's nonsense, but this is reality. Besides, we are voluntary and not employed by anyone. The Asian boy smiled and said. Ah, voluntarily, why? Natasha felt that she may not have raised as many questions in her life as she does today. Ah, why else? This is a public facility that belongs to everyone in Maple Leaf Town. We have an obligation to maintain and upkeep it. When we see it, we have an obligation to repair it. Why else does this need to be done? Natasha was puzzled, and the boys across from her appeared even more puzzled. Natasha, that's right, it's very positive, full of positive energy. Just saying such things from these children's mouths made Natasha inexplicably feel a bit flustered in her heart. Do the children in this town have such high levels of consciousness? Thinking about the bear-loving children she had seen who were so lawless that she wished to set the house on fire, Natasha suddenly became worried about the future of Milijian as a whole. On the first day, there will be a big brother giving a reward. Thank you. The pace in the early stage may be a bit slow, so please continue to watch. It will definitely be enjoyable in the future. Please be more patient, and also ask for a flower and a review ticket. Please all the big shots. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward.